So I am the villain. Because I've made myself one.
So, Nikocado Avocado over the weekend has made the entire internet look like morons. If you don't know who Nikocado Avocado is, he's pretty much one of the biggest mukbang YouTubers. If you don't know what mukbang is, it's kind of this little Korean trend where people would eat large amounts of food in front of the camera and, talk, do a little bit of commentary, maybe, tell some stories. A lot of it, too, I see is true crime, which is a little bit odd, talking about people dying, murders of people while you're just stuffing your face full of food. Now, me personally, I don't really like mukbang. I think mukbang's just a little bit weird. It kind of fits into the ASMR territory where people are just listening to, people slurping up food, and I just really do not like that sound. I don't want to hear people slurping up sauce, That's what good is supposed to sound like. I don't want to hear that sound coming out of a guy with a full-ass beard just stuffing his face with hot Cheetos. It's kind of fucking nasty. But if you like mukbang, that's cool. No hate. I just personally don't like it. It's not for me. And Nikocado actually was able to break into the mukbang content universe, I guess, and become one of the bigger, literally, mukbang YouTubers. And if you go back on his channel, you can kind of see his whole transformation from being this really skinny, just average-looking dude to just becoming this giant, enormous blob. It kind of reminds me of Brendan Fraser in The Whale, if you haven't seen that movie. It's just insane. Another thing too, I don't know if you've been on the internet for just, a little bit. You've probably seen his asshole online. Yeah, it's not that great. A lot of people it's kind of like Goatsy. If you remember Goatsy, people just linking people to that picture. It's kind of replaced that in some parts of the internet, little hidden corners, but yeah, it's real cool. And again, going back, seeing Nick before he started doing all this mukbang, being happy, healthy. I mean, he was even an amazing violin player, winning so many accolades that put your 8th grade soccer trophy collection to shame. But seeing him just, continually getting worse and worse, just fatter and more depressed. I mean, he would even throw tantrums on camera, and that was kind of part of the whole thing. That was the whole pull of why people watched him, was because, not only did they want to see mukbangs, it's just this giant guy just force-feeding himself all this food until he can't take it anymore.
Hello, we're back home. Oh, I'm sponsored. Shibby-doo.
Not. Go vegan! Go vegan!
I mean, I can't blame him. I'm sure this dude has made so much money just force-feeding himself all of this food. And at some point, Nick even admitted that it made him not happy. He's been kind of trapped himself in this corner to where in order to keep the lights on in his house and to live the lifestyle that he's living, he just has to keep force-feeding himself all of this food. And it doesn't make him happy. He hates it.
I wish I could go back in time. I wish I would never have done YouTube. I wish I would have never decided that this would be a fun way to make a living, that this would be a fun way to have a life, this would be a fun way to provide for my family.
Again, something that Sunny V2 mentioned in his video. That video aged like milk on a hot summer's day. And the reason being, because on Friday, Nick posted a video showing that he lost 250 pounds in 2 years.
So I am the villain.
And in the video, he kind of starts it off with this villainous monologue saying how this whole thing was a social experiment and everyone, he's just like little ants in a colony walking around just seeing what they're gonna do.
Feel as if I'm monitoring ants on an ant farm. One follows another,
obviously posting content to, get a reaction out of them, essentially, and how this entire thing was planned all along.
This has been the greatest social experiment for my entire life.
I mean, people on Twitter have also been predicting this, this whole thing is just a little experiment, and one day he's gonna come back and, be like, oh, it's a fat suit or something. There's no way he can actually be doing this. Okay, listen. It would be cringy if he hadn't lost all the weight, right? If he came in front of the camera and said, I'm going to start losing weight and, this has just been a social experiment. You guys are so dumb. But he already did that. For a while now, his channel's been kind of dead. But even just 7 months ago, he was this giant, enormous size. It's impossible to lose all of this weight in, just 7 months. That's insane. So you might be wondering, how did any of this happen? Well, in the video, he explains that 2 years ago, he just started recording content like crazy in order to be able to keep pumping out videos, weekly, semi-weekly, maybe monthly, in order to keep up the facade that he's still this flat slob who's just force-feeding himself all this food every single day.
I haven't made a video for like 2 years, and this is where I'm posting now on this channel, so.
He's just been putting his all into losing all of this weight. And I mean, 250 pounds in 2 years is nothing to laugh at. That is crazy. People struggle to lose 50 pounds in a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Losing a lot of weight like that is hard. This whole situation is great. I'm really happy becoming this healthy and happier person. You know, I mean, you could see it. He's literally just dancing around looking as happy as can be. If you've seen any of his videos when he was fat, he just looked miserable. He probably had a little bit of help, you know, with doctors, you know, putting him on diet plans, you know, personal trainers, having the money to be able to just, you know, work out every single day, you know, probably at least 4 to 5 hours, just as hard as he can, which most people can't do. You know, obviously, if you work a 9 to 5 or if you know, have a average life, you can't dedicate your entire time to losing that much weight. It's just impossible. But obviously, that's not to downplay his achievement at all, because even with all that help, if you don't put the effort in, nothing's going to happen. You know, I mean, they even have a gastric bypass surgery, which a lot of people get to, you know, pretty much close their gut up to try and get them to stop eating as much. Someone who did that was Boogie2988. And if you don't remember, I would say Nikocado was probably a little bit fatter than Boogie, you know, maybe around the same size. And Boogie, for the past about 4 years, if you haven't seen my Boogie video, it's going to be right here, go watch that, has been saying that he's going to lose the weight. And here we are, all those years later, and he still looks exactly the same. And somehow, within 2 years, and not even telling anybody, Nick has managed to lose all of the weight, showing everyone that it's possible. I mean, at least for me, you know, you could tell I'm a little bit on the bigger side. It's a really big inspiration to me. I mean, being fat is terrible for you. You know, it comes with so many side effects. You don't want to end up like this girl who, I'm sorry, I'm really not trying to make fun of her, but this is just the most insane video I've ever seen. My wife showed me this the other day of this. I think she was on My 800-Pound Life or something. I mean, the doctor from the show's there, where I guess she hasn't used a toilet for like a couple of years just because of how big she is. And so her husband has to take her to the hospital. I guess there at some doctor's appointment, she has to use the bathroom. So she, you know, they could try to get her to sit on the toilet, and immediately the toilet breaks and she can't get up. I mean, you can see her struggling. I mean, that's just sad. That's just terrible.
Can you give me a hand real quick? If you could help her push up. Jesus.
And that is what happens if, you know, you are the size of Boogie and Nick and you don't do anything about it. Obviously, it takes a little bit more to get to that point, you know, being so sedentary, just never trying. And it's just, again, it's insane seeing him do this. And like I said earlier, him having the whole villain monologue in the beginning would be cringy if he didn't actually do it. He just did it, didn't tell anyone, and now he gets to reap the rewards of that, you know, making fun of everybody who's ever kind of made fun of him, saying the whole time that, you know, I knew that this was stupid. I knew that I looked like this. I knew that I looked dumb. But, you know, the whole time it was just to get views and clicks, which is insane. You know, the biggest media campaign of all time. I mean, he lost more weight than Jared from Subway. And, you know, hoping that Jared, you know, he doesn't end up like Jared from Subway, because Jared from Subway did a little bit of stuff. We're not going to get into it, but, you know, I'll put some shit here. I don't know. But yeah, you know, I just kind of wanted to talk about this because it was just insane. I mean, if you've seen Nick before, he was just ballooning in size. And it was just kind of sad to see. So I'm really happy to see that he's happy and he's healthy. Another thing, too, is that you can't see any excess skin on him. I mean, a lot of people who weigh a lot, when they lose the weight, they end up having a lot of excess skin, you know, just hanging off their arms and stuff. I mean, there's a whole Family Guy episode about it where Peter just has all this skin that's just flapping around.
Are you gonna help me with my science fair project?
I would love to, Chris, but like all people who undergo drastic weight loss, I have time to make up for.
But with him, it doesn't even look like that. So I don't know really what he did. Maybe he had the, you know, skin removal surgery already, but he looks great. He looks amazing. And I'm really, really happy for him. I hope that he continues to live this healthy lifestyle. And, you know, again, like I said in the video, he even said that he's happier. It's awesome. But if you're going to notice that this video is a little less edited than my videos normally, I want to start pumping out content more. I want to give you guys more content. And, you know, there's that impossible triangle. Why the fuck did I make a square? There's the impossible triangle to try to fit, you know, good editing, you know, actually good content, and pumping out content as fast as you can. It's impossible to get all three. It's something new that I'm trying. We're going to see. I just want to, you know, I want to pump out, because I used to pump out 2 or 3 videos a week. I want to continue to do that. But yeah, you know, if you don't like the content, let me know. Just let me know if you would rather me. I'm still going to do the heavily edited content. I would like to do some more horror stuff. You know, something in the future. I'm not going to say what, but, yeah. Bye.